What's going on, everybody? Nathan here, bringing you yet another Team Fortress 2 video, and in this video I will be breaking down the Fan of War and why it is the best scout melee in my opinion. Alright, so a quick note about the gameplay here. I am playing on CP Coldfront, and this isn't a complete gameplay, rather it's just a bunch of snippets of me using the fan and showing that it's a very, very good melee weapon. This was recorded over like a series of games. Like the other team was really, really bad, and we actually capped them before a vote scramble probably 5 times in a row, I would say, so that was actually pretty fun. So for the Fan of War statistics, the statistics on this weapon are that on hit, one target at a time is marked for death, causing all damage taken to be mini crits. And that is the pro to the weapon, but the con is that it has a minus 90% damage penalty. To quickly sum up this weapon, it is literally just unlimited Girardi. Like, that's literally what it is. Girardi can mark multiple people to take mini crits, but this weapon, like, you can mark anyone for death at any time. You don't need to wait for it to recharge, and it is just fantastic. So one thing I just thought of as well is that this weapon basically makes the Criticola completely useless. The difference between Criticola and the Fan of War is that the Criticola, you give and take mini crits, but the good side to the Criticola is that you can give mini crits to anyone, while the Fan you have to mark one person for that, kill them, or have them be killed, and then you mark another person. But I would say that the ability to mark only one person at a time for death is a much greater, or rather less of a con than taking mini crits, because I don't know, the Criticola is just not that good in my opinion, and like, there's no downside to this weapon because you can basically hit somebody, and for a heavy, I think it takes 2 shots for a meat shot with the mini crits. Actually, now that I think about it, it's 2 shots for every class except for Scout and Sniper, who have 125 health. And the minus 90% damage downside isn't even that big of a deal to me, because as a scout, I never really use my melee weapon anyways, and I'd rather use a melee weapon that assists with my like primary and secondary firing than like actually using it. Like the Sandman, its pro is that like you actually have to use it to make use of the pro, whereas like I'd rather just use the fan where I can hit somebody and then switch to my primary and then take them out that way. Yet another upside to this weapon is that if you hit a spy that's undisguised for whatever reason, he will have that little skull above his head even when he's cloaking. So if you end up hitting a spy and then there's a skull above his head and he decides to run away, you can just track him and follow him and kill him with those mini crits. But that only comes in handy sometimes, unfortunately, because if you hit a spy with this weapon while he is disguised, then that skull won't appear and you can't really track him that well. So what I usually do is just end up firing like 2 shots at him with my scattergun, and then usually he'll either run away or start firing with his revolver. And once he starts firing his revolver so that he's undisguised, you can close on him, hit him with the fan to make sure he doesn't run away so that there's that skull above his head, and then, yeah, just take him out. Also, this weapon is great for hitting burning or bleeding enemies, as that damage will then multiply with the 35% mini crit bonus damage. And then this weapon is also fantastic for taking out a certain target, such as the medic in like Highlander. If you manage to get behind enemy lines and sneak past people, you can hit the medic and then tell your team that he's marked for death, and then they can take him out more easily. Lastly, this weapon is very, very good for sneaking up on people, because what I do a lot of the time being scouts can get behind enemy lines pretty well, and what I end up doing is sneaking up behind people, hitting them with the fan, and then just unleashing those meat shots on them. And I can't tell you how many times I've done that to heavies to just easily take them out. Otherwise, heavies are a super pain in the butt to take out as scout. But with the fan, it's just so much more easier, as long as you're not seen. So that pretty much wraps up all I have to say about the fan. It is an amazing weapon, and in my opinion, it is the best scout melee weapon. Besides, well, I mean, competitive scouts, I believe, use Sandman. I'm not really sure if that's right, but the Sandman's pro is very, very good as well. I mean, if you can stun somebody, then that's just awesome. But to me, I just really don't like that minus 15 health. So yeah, but that's why it's my favorite melee weapon for scout. And yeah, so if you guys like the video, please leave a like. It takes less than a second, and I really appreciate it. And if you like Team Fortress 2, feel free to subscribe. I bring that. And then, yeah, so I'll see you guys later, hopefully in the next video. Peace out.